Every person believes there will always be more time to apologize, more time to begin, more time to become disciplined, more time to repair broken relationships, pursue forgotten dreams, and become the person they quietly promised themselves they would one day become. But life has a habit of teaching its greatest lessons only after the opportunity has already passed. That is why wisdom has always been so rare. Most people do not reject the truth because it is difficult. They reject it because they believe they can postpone it. The Stoics understood this danger better than almost anyone. They knew that the future is never guaranteed, and that every day wasted is a piece of life that can never be recovered. Today, we will explore 7 life lessons that many people only understand when it is almost too late. If you absorb these lessons now, you may avoid years of unnecessary suffering and build a life that remains steady, regardless of what fate decides to bring. The first lesson is that no one is coming to save you. This realization can sound harsh, but it is one of the most liberating truths you will ever discover. Many people spend years waiting for the perfect mentor, the perfect opportunity, the perfect relationship, or the perfect moment that will finally transform their lives. They believe that someday someone will appear and give them the confidence, motivation, or direction they have been missing. But life rarely works that way. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every morning that he alone was responsible for his thoughts and actions. He never expected comfort from the world because he understood that strength begins the moment excuses end. The day you stop waiting for rescue is the day your real life begins. You begin making difficult decisions without needing approval. You develop discipline without depending on motivation. You solve problems instead of complaining about them. Responsibility feels heavy at first, but eventually it becomes freedom because your future no longer depends on circumstances beyond your control. The second lesson is that your emotions should never become your master. Most people make their worst decisions during their strongest emotions. They speak when they should remain silent. They quit when they should persist. They seek revenge when patience would have brought victory. Anger, fear, jealousy, and pride all promise immediate satisfaction, but they often leave behind permanent consequences. The Stoics never argued that emotions should disappear. They argued that emotions should be understood instead of obeyed. Imagine a captain sailing through a violent storm. He cannot command the waves to stop, but he can control how he steers the ship. Your emotions are like those waves. You may not choose when they appear, but you always possess the ability to choose your response. That small space between feeling and action determines the quality of your entire life. Every time you refuse to react impulsively, you strengthen your character. Every time you remain calm while others lose control, you gain an advantage that cannot be purchased. The third lesson is that silence is often more powerful than explanation. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing they must defend themselves against every misunderstanding, every insult, and every false accusation. They waste enormous amounts of energy trying to convince people who have already decided not to understand them. The Stoics recognized that wisdom does not need constant validation. Your actions will always speak louder than your arguments. When someone criticizes you unfairly, ask yourself whether their opinion changes your character. If it does not, then why surrender your peace trying to change their mind? Silence is not weakness. Silence is disciplined confidence. It allows your work to mature without unnecessary attention. It protects your plans from envy. It keeps your emotions from becoming entertainment for others. The strongest individuals often reveal the least, because they understand that not every battle deserves participation. The fourth lesson is that comfort quietly destroys potential. Human beings naturally seek safety, familiarity, and convenience. There is nothing wrong with rest, but there is great danger in becoming addicted to comfort. Every dream requires discomfort before it becomes reality. Every meaningful achievement demands sacrifice that most people are unwilling to make. Seneca warned that difficulties strengthen the mind just as exercise strengthens the body. Without resistance, character becomes weak. Think about how many ambitions disappear because someone chooses temporary pleasure over lasting growth. They postpone learning, delay difficult conversations, avoid healthy habits, and slowly convince themselves that tomorrow will be different. Years pass, yet tomorrow never arrives. The comfort zone feels peaceful, but it often becomes a beautifully decorated prison. Real confidence is built by repeatedly doing what feels uncomfortable until it becomes natural. Growth never asks for permission. It simply waits outside your comfort zone. The fifth lesson is that you cannot control other people, but you can always control your own character. Much of human suffering comes from trying to manage things that have never belonged to us. We want people to appreciate us, agree with us, respect us, and remain loyal forever. Yet every person carries their own desires, fears, and choices. Trying to control another person's mind is like trying to command the wind. It only exhausts you. Epictetus constantly reminded his students to separate what belongs to them from what does not. Your integrity belongs to you. Your discipline belongs to you. Your honesty belongs to you. Another person's opinion never will. Once you truly understand this distinction, an extraordinary calm enters your life. You stop chasing approval because you realize that your peace was never meant to depend on someone else's judgment. The sixth lesson is that obstacles are not interruptions to your journey. They are the journey itself. Every successful person eventually discovers that adversity is not the exception. It is the rule. Failure teaches lessons that comfort never could. Rejection develops resilience that constant acceptance would never produce. Loss forces wisdom that endless success often prevents. The Stoics practiced what they called the love of fate. This did not mean enjoying pain. It meant recognizing that every difficulty contains material for growth. A tree grows stronger because it withstands the wind, not because it avoids it. Your character develops through resistance. Every challenge asks a simple question. Will this event define you, or will your response define the event? That answer belongs entirely to you. The obstacle may block one path, but it often reveals a better one that comfort would never have allowed you to see. The seventh and perhaps greatest lesson is that time is your most valuable possession. Yet most people spend it as though it were endless. Wealth can return after it is lost. Health may sometimes recover. Reputation can be rebuilt. But time moves in only one direction. Every hour spent worrying about things beyond your control is an hour permanently removed from your life. Seneca wrote that life is long enough if it is used wisely. The tragedy is not that life is short. The tragedy is that people begin living only after wasting years chasing distractions that never truly mattered. Imagine reaching the final chapter of your life and realizing that you spent more energy impressing strangers than becoming the person you admired. That realization is heavier than failure itself. Begin protecting your attention as carefully as you protect your money. Invest your hours where they create wisdom, strength, meaningful relationships, and lasting purpose. Time rewards those who respect it. These 7 lessons are not merely philosophical ideas. They are practical principles that have guided resilient people through centuries of uncertainty, hardship, and change. They remind us that peace does not come from controlling the world, but from mastering ourselves. They remind us that silence can be stronger than argument, discipline more reliable than motivation, and adversity more valuable than comfort. Most people learn these truths only after years of regret. But you do not have to wait for disappointment to become your teacher. You can choose wisdom today. Every decision you make from this moment forward becomes another opportunity to shape your character. And in the Stoic view, character is the only possession that fortune can never take away. When you understand that deeply, you stop fearing life, because you finally realize that everything you truly need has been within you all along.